Alrighty, here we are, another week around the trash fire. Your host Mathias, along with the boy.
John.
Well, as is expected, when we have such a big event week like LVO, the next week is usually very dead. At least in the news area.
Yeah, lots of models dropping or sets dropping though.
True, there are those, but not as extensive as we got with a good old LVO, of course. In terms of the news area. So let's just jump into it. I figured we start with this article. Surprising that we get two of these within a
Yeah,
week of each other.
in the course of less than 2 months.
Yeah, you got here. Old World Development. We're getting my boys, the Tomb Kings. And before anyone else gets very excited like me, it doesn't tell us anything. Just more story.
Yes. It's like, hey guys, interestingly, it mentions that the Tomb Kings will be featured in the old world. It's at some degree, which is contrary to a lot of rumors suggesting that old world will be primarily old world with the Empire and stuff. But it seems that there were Tomb Kings going on, Tomb King shenanigans going on in the old world proper, and they will be featured in the upcoming game.
Yeah, I saw that and I was just like, I don't know. Does that mean they're gonna do like a kill team? What was the kill team variant for fantasy?
Mordheim?
Mordheim. You think they're gonna do they're gonna bring back kind of like a Mordheim game system?
I don't think so, especially not from this article. I think if they're gonna do Warcry is doing too well. I can see Mordheim coming back to fill that niche of ultra RPG heavy skirmish game, but I think with the old world they're gonna probably focus on just the main game before jumping into stuff like Mordheim. As cool as Mordheim is, to be honest, I do enjoy it. I played it not quite a bit. I played it a little bit, and I did enjoy myself. So
Yeah, I just wondered because they mentioned, yeah, there's Tomb Kings getting robbed. There could be. I'm like, oh, so that kind of sounds like a skirmish type game, not a large scale kind of
oh,
thing.
I
But
think they're referring to how Tomb Kings get their artifacts robbed, and then they send armies in response to take it back, which would allow the Tomb Kings to fit in the old world proper, because they did mention that it is set in the old world region, not in Nehekara or anything.
true. But I'm excited because that means some old models are gonna be finally coming back.
Yeah, that would be cool. It would
Maybe
be cool if they
some
actually showed any
redesign.
models. It would
Huh?
be cool if they showed any models.
Yeah, it
I
would
think
be cool.
the older community is starting to get annoyed now about just these articles that, like you mentioned, kind of tell us nothing. And it's like, where are the models? Where's the gameplay? Stuff like that. Because we're not really getting anything from this.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't really see how any lore people, lore channels would get anything out of this, to be honest. So, like, we already know what's all going to be in the game. We, like,
We
just
oh
show
we
us, some revamped models.
Well, actually, I think, at least for the benefit of this article, we don't know what's going to be on the game, because when they initially announced it, it was implied that it would only be
Empire and Orcs.
Empire and Orcs. But having Tomb Kings announced is, it's not great news in terms of actual news, but it is more news than we've gotten in a while. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I agree. I wish they would show us models or something, because yeah, this artwork of units we've seen before isn't that exciting, even though the music is kind of interesting.
News has me excited. Not excited enough to actually play the game, but excited to see my
Right,
army come back.
right. So yeah, we'll see what the future holds for Old World. I don't think it's going to be out this year. I will be shocked if it's out this year.
No way.
I think we're at least a year off, if not more. The fact that we have no models revealed is saying something. It's literally just art and words.
Yeah, I mean this. When did they say this was going to be released? 2024, right? When
They
like
didn't.
the very first time they talked about it was like 2024 time frame.
They said minimum 2023, but they made that announcement before COVID was a thing, so that's definitely going to get pushed back in terms of the timeline.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, this is definitely looking like a. I mean, I always joke when talking about Old World, but I honestly think it's going to be a 2025 project.
Yeah, I would agree there for sure.
Like I know every time I talk about it, I always add a year to it.
Yeah, right.
I think we're at like 2033 right now.
Yeah, I honestly just feel kind of bad for the people who are legitimately waiting for this game because you're like, there's like no real news at all coming out besides this. I don't even call it drip feed because it doesn't really tell us anything.
It just
So
tells us that Tomb Kings, yeah, they're there.
yeah, it's like, yeah, they're playable. Okay, where's the models? Where's the anything?
Where's the rules?
Where's the rules? What kind of system is it going to be? You know?
Yeah. Well, we'll have to just wait and see. 2024 will probably be the big year that you know
We see models.
we get
What?
something out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But enough of this content. Let us go to the models, and then we have our Sunday preview, which I'm surprised we are already getting the Kill Team box.
Yeah, it's
Honestly, I thought it was going to be another week before this came on pre-order,
right.
but here we go.
Here it is.
Getting that. I mean, this stuff we all talked about last week.
Yeah, $170 for the set.
$170, which is cheaper, is it not?
You don't get the rule book because the previous one was also 170, but the first one with the Kroot and the Breachers was 210 because it had the rule book and the tokens, which you kind of need to play the game. I mean, if you have tokens of your own, right, please feel free to use your tokens, but if you don't, then you do need them to play Kill Team. For sure need the rules
Of
somehow.
course. You would be nice to play the game accurately. But yeah, so 170 for that. Again, I know a lot of people are excited for the Arbides models. Not so much for the Dark Eldar, but on second pass through, they're okay. I like them. But then
Yeah, there's
again, you can't really go wrong with the Cabalite.
yeah, it's on one hand, you get six new model, quote unquote, not even models, just upgrades. Like you can make six newer models, but it's still the old models. But on the flip side, they hold up. So
Cabalites are still the best models out there. Best troop, in my opinion. Hands down. Cannot sway me off that.
yeah, that's fair. They're pretty up there. I don't know what the better troop choices because they're multi kit.
And the RBDs are, of course, cool and unique.
Yeah, and you can absolutely. I mean, lore wise, it's not the 100% fluffiest, but listeners, you are more than welcome to use this in Necromunda as Palanite enforcers. Like, I don't think anyone would complain. Just use those rules. And honestly, you get way more options anyway from this kit. If you want to play enforcers in Necromunda, you got way more heavy weapon options. So feel free to do that.
There you go. So we're getting that. We're getting the Kill Team Casterkin unit being sold on its own,
Yep.
finally. As well as the Kroot being sold on their own.
Yes.
Still very weird design choices there, but whatever. Alien, I guess. The Navy Breachers are now being sold on their own.
Yes, they are.
as well as the Necron kill team, which falls in line with the Dark Eldar a little bit, but
Yeah, old models with a little bit of upgrade.
yeah, so not too exciting, but there nonetheless, as well as the Gallo Dark, which I believe is just the
The
was
rules.
was this
Oh,
last one or is it this one's terrain?
it's the first one's terrain.
Okay,
Or the
so
second one. No, so it's the second one without the excuse me, the upgrades which they
the
have.
breaching.
Yeah, the kills and upgrades and stuff.
Okay, got that. Got Shadow Vaults uh upgrade. We got the Into the Dark book being sold on its own finally, as well as the Shadow Vaults being sold on its own. Just more books, more campaign missions you can use. The Kill Team dice sets. I'm trying to think. These were never sold on their own, right? These were always
No, these are new, I believe.
okay.
And you get 20 of them.
Well, for the Navy Breachers and the Kinbran, the Farstalkers, the other ones you only get
Oh, no,
15.
you're right. You only get 15. Ooh, sad face.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. We got some more kill team bits that you can get for your bases to have them accurate. I guess if you want to have just a kill team for boarding actions.
So these are actually, yeah, these are I believe these are the Necromunda bases, just repurposed, which is fine because those are excellent bases. I know a lot of people who love those bases because
Yeah, it's
easy
fine.
basing, just paint the base and you're done.
Yeah, it's fine. Anything to make it more dynamic than just a circular base and then
Hmm.
putting some texture paint on it. These are always a welcome design. Moving on, we get to sorry, not Blood Hunt. Warcry with
Yeah,
Blood Hunt being sold, which again, terrain kind of lacking.
yeah. I don't get too much. I wish there was more scatter. I think if he had more scatter, it would be great. But yeah, I don't know. The Warcry box sets, first one, have been kind of in with the terrain.
Yeah, it's
I feel like
been pretty bleak.
yeah, I feel like you need one more set of terrain to make it cool. I mean, on the flip side, this is 170. It's you got a lot for you got
Yeah,
two full teams and some terrain for that price.
yeah,
Now,
it's
the game is
whatever. It's not bad.
playable, right? The game is playable.
I'm not saying
But
it's bad. And Warcry, it's not 40K where you need every inch covered by terrain. I'm just saying, it looks a little bare bones.
oh yeah, it would be great if there was more than just what's there, for sure.
But I mean, it's fine. I just wish for more. That's all. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, 2-player box set again. Didn't expect this to come out until next week, but here we go. You got the samurai vampires and the best boys of Karnak running around fighting each other. Again, went over this all last week, so we won't spend too much time there. The Lizardmen kill team of Chameleon Skinks coming out on their own. The Jade Obelisk, which let me tell you, if these boys were at LVO, I would have picked these up.
Yeah, they're super cool.
Would have picked them up. Instead, I picked up the Rotmeyer. So, another cool kill team, but I rather had these boys. So they're being sold on their own. Horus Heresy. Your bikes are coming out, John.
Yeah, $60 for these for three. Pretty good. I am really mulling over picking this up at launch. Maybe not at launch, but I do want to set at some point for probably the word bears.
Well, they're
I
gonna sell out.
no, they're not going to sell.
You gotta get that FOMO. You're gonna miss out if you don't buy it now.
They don't sell out. It's okay. I um I The only thing that sold out was the Rhino, and nothing else sold out. Sicarans didn't even sell out. I think I should be okay.
Hmm. Oh, I mean, if you say so.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Surprising. I would expect them to. Also, I think what helps is they're kind of bad for most people. So
Well, that's not good. Why would you say that, John?
because they're not actually, I don't think they're actually bad. They just seem bad. It's like stat. It's one of those units where the stats bad, but in game it's not that. They're not that bad. They're arguably kind of good. So
Well, tell me why they're bad. Tell me why their stats are so bad.
so they have one extra wound compared to a Space Marine.
Is
That's kind of
that
it.
is that 3 wounds or is that two
No,
wounds?
they have two wounds. Space Marines have 1 minute and 30k. So they have two wounds, and that's it. I don't. I'll pull up the rules right now, but I don't even think they have toughness 5.
So it's kind of like, well, unless they don't have toughness 5, but it's kind of like the normal bikes, right? I don't
The
actually.
normal
Do they have normal bikes in
they do have
30K?
normal bikes, and the normal bikes have no normal bikes. Yeah, sorry, normal bikes are actually trash in my opinion because they have no stat difference to Space Marines. No two wounds, no toughness 5, no 2 up save, nothing. Yeah, these guys only have an extra wound, which is that. I mean, and on the surface, it's like ooh, but they all pack heavy bolters, which I recommend upgrading a Volkite Culverins for 5 points per model, or you give them multi meltas if you want them hunting tanks. Yeah, I just think they're more a finesse unit than a kind of
A
Death
must-have
Star
unit.
type thing. Yeah, exactly. So like it's not too hard to make them work, but you gotta be smart about them because they're kind of fragile for their points. But on the other hand, they do put a lot of firepower. They put a lot of mobile firepower. Like if you play in a meta with a lot of terrain, which you should have a lot of terrain, they really shine because they can just hop over buildings and all that.
Well, since this is 7th edition, can they move and fire their weapon or no?
Yes, yes, they can.
Okay.
Which is another benefit for them is unlike heavy support squads, they can move and fire. Which again, if you're playing with proper amount of terrain, will that will be a thing.
Now, is it certain distance or
Oh, they can move their max move of 16 and fire weapons and
okay?
charge. So
Because
yeah,
I remember back in 7th, if a unless it had special rules like Eldar tanks, if it moved at X amount of distance, it could only fire certain weapons.
that's only for vehicles, which these guys aren't. But yeah, vehicles, that's absolutely the case where depending on how far you move, you can only fire a set number of weapons. And usually it's half speed to fire all your weapons.
Yes.
But yeah, bikes can just move max. So that's why I'm tempted to get some, or just maybe I'll just play White Scars and get like 12 of them.
I
Because
mean,
yeah,
you
when
do
you
have white scars.
what's up?
I said you do have white scars.
No, I don't have White Scars.
I thought
I
you
traded
did. Oh, you
I did
traded them.
I traded them for more Blood Angels.
Got it.
But I don't mind getting some more White Scars. Because White Scars are cool. And bikes are cool. But I could also put them in Word Bears, so
Oh, there you go. Let's move on from the Sky Hunters then.
also they're plastic jet bikes, guys. How cool is that? It's freaking plastic. No 40k rules. Will not get 40k rules. Should mention that.
They will. Just give it time. They'll get it.
No, they won't. They've stated these will not get 40k rules.
For now. Just you wait. GW will put it in.
I don't think so. The fact that Necromunda dudes don't have rules to me indicates that they might keep this separate.
Well, I don't think Necromunda will ever get rules because they just don't fit in at
Right,
all. Right? They're literally just a bunch of, as you would say, homeless people fighting in the streets.
right.
They don't have any military value. I mean, that's why you could put the as much as I think it's really stupid, the the rogue trader group you can put into any army,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because they work for the Imperium, so they can obviously be called for anything. Necromunda, I mean, yeah, you could lore wise be like, yeah, we just paid him a bunch of money, but it's literally it
I don't
would
know because
literally
like
be the cultist version for Space Marines.
yeah, well, but I don't know about jet bikes. Well, at least at the moment in the lore, the like Samael, which is the Raven Wing captain, and the Kasodi's jet bikes entries do state that these are the jet bikes don't really exist for the Space Marines outside of Samael's bike. I mean, the fact that Primaris don't have jet bikes is already telling that these will probably not get 40k rolls.
True, but
I just want to keep my hopes up because I've talked to people who are like, "Oh, I can't wait for these to get 40k rolls." It's like they're I would not keep my hopes up. Maybe in like several years, but this is not. I don't think we'll get any rolls for these in the next year or more. If they do,
that's
I'll be shocked. But
that's why I said yet.
I mean, they haven't had roll. I mean, jet bikes have been out since what 2014 when Heresy dropped, and haven't had rolls since 2014. It's almost 10 years.
Well, I mean, it's telling that it probably won't get rules anyway, since they're trying to phase out the whole firstborn Marines. So
Are they trying to move towards more Primaris stuff for 40k?
yeah,
Yeah.
so good chance that this will not pop up anyways. But moving on from the sim, let's move to the upgrades. We got the salamanders again. Helmets, pretty baller. Shoulder pads, F in John's book because it has trim.
That's trim. Sucks.
Word bearers are. I think I remember praising them. I think they were okay, right?
Yeah, I like them. I like these word bearer heads. It's not. I'm glad I didn't wait for them, but I could see myself picking up a set for future squads. But I already have some squads, and I didn't think they were cool enough to. I don't think any of them are cool enough to postpone a squad for me.
Okay, now that I zoomed in and enhanced the photo, yeah, I remember these were good. I like these.
Yeah.
And shoulder pads are A plus in John's book because it doesn't have trim.
Yep. Absolutely.
So those are good. We got the White Dwarf. I don't really care too much for it. Uh, Next surprising thing, we got Lord of the Rings. Oh
Yeah.
god, we do not want to print this page. I hit the wrong button. So we got the Fellowship, not Fellowship. What the hell are these things? Hero models. Legolas, Gimli, Aragorn.
Two towers stuff.
Two towers, yep. God, zoom in, these models just look. I mean, Gimli looks okay, but everything else looks a little fugly.
Yeah.
Got off the white. Gimli killing a Urkai. Bunch of classic stuff here.
The metal fell beast is mind-boggling because it's a metal fell beast. Like gosh, it's a metal dragon creature. Wings are plastic, but my gosh, the rest of it being metal is insane.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty bad. That's coming out, all made to order. We got some events, some GW events being announced. And Warhammer Plus, looks like we're getting a battle report, a kill team battle report of the new RBDs, probably versus the Dark Eldar. And that is that. Again, a lot of stuff to go through there. And it was fun. Exciting stuff. I know Corn comes out next week. Sorry, World Eaters come out next week.
Mhm.
So I know Travis is going to be excited for that, even though he's already said that the book is already going to be bad. Just going over the reviews that he's seen. He's saying it's not looking too good.
I heard the army is powerful, but there's like one build for it, which is just spam 8 bound and Lord Invocatus, which is kind of sad. That's not a good place for a codex to be, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it suffers, right? It
And once again,
suffers through the fact that it doesn't have a lot of unit variety.
yep, exactly. And once again, guys, new codex is not OP. So shut the fuck up if you're like, oh my gosh, new release is OP. Games Workshop trying to sell Angron, so making him overpowered. Angron's okay. He is okay.
Yeah.
I
I didn't put it in the news, but I'm gonna just pull it up here. Excuse me while I look for this article really fast. They posted an article with Angron versus, a bunch of characters
like
and stuff.
Mortarion beats him or something.
Yeah, he gets his ass kicked by Mortarion.
I think in game the average is because raw stats, yeah, Mortarion wins, but the fact he could bring Angron back, he gets all these other abilities. Like the stratagems just help him kill more. But yeah, it's kind of funny that they had him lose to Mortarion. But yeah, I this is yet more proof that new release doesn't mean overpowered. There is no proof that Games Workshop makes the new models stronger to sell more. Again, like World Eaters are okay. Angron is okay.
Yeah, Angron has the fact that I think he needs. I wish Travis was here. I think he needs 6 blood tithes to come back to life. So it'll be pretty easy to bring back Angron multiple times.
Yeah, which is good. I think that makes sense for his lore.
Yeah, they can't. I think killing a vehicle is like 2 points. So I can imagine. I can imagine that the Ordo Leaders is going to be a very spammy army, just to maximize as many blood tithe points as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Considering you get it for your side and your opponent's side, so it'll be interesting to see there. But yeah, so they're all coming out. I can't really remember. It's kind of the big thing that was coming out, right? Was just the Angron or World
Yeah,
Eaters.
World Leaders Codex.
So moving on to the next thing here. Again, we don't have too much Warhammer. Heresy Thursday. We got ourselves the Esoterist. Or the Exorcist, sorry.
Esoterist. No, it is. You're right. It is the Esoterist.
Esoterist, alright. Pretty cool.
I hate this release.
Oh,
I'm actually pissed off at this release. On like a fun, like non-serious, but like on a gaming level, this release pisses me off.
explain. I don't
So
understand.
it's a cool model. First of all, actually it's quite an amazing model. It's a Mark 6 Centurion, so it's an upgrade to a captain that you can specialize him. It's a cool wizard. I could definitely see myself picking up using him as a librarian. Now the reason why I hate this is the Esoterist is a Centurion whose special snowflake ability is he summons demons. Where the fuck are my demon rolls? How can I summon demons when there's no demon rolls?
Well, it's coming out, John. Don't worry. Just
Like,
give it a few more months.
yeah, it's. I mean, hopefully they don't release him before that, because that would just because he's kind of useless right now. I mean, yeah, he does stuff without demons, but like they even highlight how he has a psychic weapon that wounds demons on twos. There's one demon unit in the game, and you can't even use him, which is Kabanda. There's no way to summon Kabanda. I guess if you play APOC or something, because there's not even rules for allying demons. I guess if you have a Lord of War detachment, which I don't think you can even have in 30k, you need a regular detachment and you attach a Lord of War to it. So it's not even playable. So yeah, there's like no demons. I guess corrupted. He does stuff against corrupted units like Galvorback and all that World Bear stuff and Horus corrupted. But yeah, like his shtick is summoning demons, and there's no demons to summon. Like what the heck, Games Workshop or Forge World?
Well, Forge World, they're very infamous on showing new stuff, but never releasing it till 2 months after the fact.
Yeah,
So
so maybe.
There's a
Maybe.
good chance the demon rules will be out by the time this guy's even released.
Yeah, that's my hope, because otherwise it's a very bizarre thing to release, because yeah, literally no rules.
It's a bit funny though.
Yeah,
You
it's
gotta
like
love GW marketing.
I straight up like asked them on Facebook, like, "Oh man, it's such a cool model, guys. Like, where can I find the rules for the demons he summons?" Because the article straight up says like he summons. It's yeah, right below the second picture. Traders gain the ability to conjure forth hordes of demonic allies, and it links the demon brutes. But it's like there's no rules for these demon brutes. You cannot play them at the moment. So I mean, I'll use him as a librarian, and then when the rules come out, I'll use him as an esoterist because I play word bearers and they like summoning demons. But in the meantime, yeah, he just kind of does nothing.
Again, John, give it time. Give it time. Believe in the plan. They'll get rules.
Cries in Kabanda.
How many points is Kabanda?
It's like 550.
So you can't even play him in a 2,000 point game.
Yeah, he can play in a 3,000. I mean, 30K is 3,000 points, so you could use him in 3,000 points.
Oh,
But the issue is there's no legal way of including him in any army, because demons normally you would, well, because Lords of War have to be your faction. Knights are an exception because the knight rules specifically say you could include knights in non-knight armies as a Lord of War. But demons don't have ally rules at the moment. There are no demon faction rules. So Kabanda just has rules, but there's no real way of using him. You can summon him because Esoterras can only summon elite choices and troops. Erebus can't summon him because Erebus can only summon elites and HQ choices, and he's a Lord of War. So it's just kind of unplayable in legal way. I mean, you could probably play him in an APOC game. No one's gonna say no to that if it's a big game. I was actually planning on maybe even taking him to LVO with world leaders using the Angron models, sort of the Angron model, and using his Kabanda's rules. But in a normal game, you can't use him. There's no rules for him, and it's funny that this guy, this esoterist, links to some demon brutes, which you also can't use because there's no rules for them. It's just bizarre and kind of funny if it wasn't so sad for the people who want to run this guy and their demons. I have a demon army. Can use it. Yeah.
same.
Yeah. There we go.
All right. Well,
So that rant over. Cool model, useless in game
for now.
for now, and I hope that the for now is not forever.
They're coming. Don't worry. They're gonna time it up with the end of the Siege of Terra. Trust me.
I wish that would be actual good marketing.
Moving on to our last Warhammer article here. We got Model Monday, and we got the Seraphon. Seraphon with a big staff, a big magical staff. And yeah. I mean, obviously a good looking model, which is expected at an AoS.
Yeah, it's super cool and could probably fit on a square base, like a monster square base, not a regular square base. People in old world forums are like, "Oh, can you put this in your lizardman army?" It's like, yeah, but you gotta get a monstrous infantry base. He will not fit on the standard base. He's way too big for that. Like way too big for that.
Yeah, they're
But yeah,
like
cool. I like him.
they're what, Primaris size?
Oh, these guys are probably Terminator size, like Custodes size. AoS models are quite large. I'm pretty sure the new Saurus are like Custodes size, because Stormcast are Custodes size.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, I know they when I went to the LVO preview event, they said, who's that guy who runs away from giants? That model, do you know?
Oh, Johan or whatever.
Yeah, Johan. Supposedly way smaller than these lizard men. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, the
That's
lizard men are supposed to be really big. But I mean, I know I don't play AOS, but looking at the rules for this model, it's looking like this is a must take in your army.
yeah, 6 up field no pain for apparently Seraphon units within 6. I mean, they have to holy boo within 6, but if you have big block of Saurus, which have 2 wounds, and this guy there, that does up their survivability. And he buffs wizards.
He buffs wizards, giving them an extra like 6 inches to their casting.
Yeah, +1 to cast too. That's
Yeah,
great.
I I feel like this is gonna be a must take in every Lizardman list.
Yeah.
Though I could be wrong because I don't follow AOS meta at all, which is why I was really surprised at LVO looking at the AOS competitive team that I saw so many ogres and giants. I was
Oh,
like,
did you hear who won first place?
no, I didn't.
You have 3 guesses. Go.
Well, the fact that you're telling me this, that means it has to be something out of the blue. So I'm going to assume it was Tomb Kings.
No,
Are Tomb Kings even valid anymore?
I don't think so. I think you could play Legions of Nagash and use their models, but you can't use Tomb King rules.
Okay. Let's make this fast. Daughters of Cain,
Nope.
and let's say Lizardman.
Nope. Beast of Chaos.
Okay.
It's like I guess they're strong because of their new book. Because my God, yeah, this is I think it's before the new book came out. So yeah, they kind of
That,
kicked butt LVO. Second place was Iron Jaws.
that just goes to show you. I mean, was the winner like a known player or?
Yeah, I think he was one. He has won several events before, but people weren't shocked about Beast of Chaos. Apparently in AOS right now they're super strong. I was just shocked because I haven't been paying attention, and I was like, well, Beast of Chaos, those guys are like traditionally kind of terrible.
Yeah, usually. But yeah, like I said, I was surprised to see because when I went around the tables, it's just like ogres, giants, ogres, daughters of Cain,
Ugh.
Sigmarines, some goblin armies out there, ogres. Oh my god, damn, there's so many ogres. But we shall see. We shall see if this model is a must take. I honestly don't see why this isn't a must take in your Lizardman army unless you're not running any wizards.
Which is hard because of that new slam model is amazing.
Yeah, but yeah, we shall see. And I don't. That is all the Warhammer articles that I have. Now I know you sent in an article,
Yes, super exciting article.
some Star Wars Legion, or sorry, not Legion.
Yeah, it's Legion.
Is sorry, Legion. Ventress. Now I know we saw the model last week on sale. Now we have the card rules.
Yes.
So run us through because I see 8 black dice for Assange's
So
attacks here.
well, it's super cool, super interesting. Actually, I before I talk about her, I will say this is really good design. It's kind of like how the Dark Troopers have their double, they can activate twice thing, but they can only move once and they're slow. So they're really pushing the boundary with how with making units here, and because she is not the typical Jedi. She has some really interesting abilities and a lot of new abilities as well. So going through her card, so she's an operative for the droid faction. She's 150 points, which is not too expensive. Pretty average for a force user. She has 2 force slots and 2 training slots. She has 5 health, which is standard. Red save, standard for a Jedi. I think pretty sure all Jedi have red saves. She has courage too, which is on the lower side for a Jedi, but she is an operative, so it's not like you could use her courage for stuff. And you're probably going to be using Dooku's courage, which you'll probably take if you're running Asajj anyway. You don't have to, but she's really good with Dooku.
I thought
Speed.
Maul was the badass to run.
What's up?
I thought Maul was the badass to run.
She actually will. I think a lot of people, and I can see where they're coming from. She kind of makes Maul. Okay, I don't want to take it back. I was gonna say she makes Maul useless, but she doesn't. She's just better than Maul because actually, there's some people saying like Asajj Maul could be a really good CIS list if you want double Jedi and not have to run Dooku because Dooku's freaking expensive. But yeah, she's cheaper than Maul. So if you're gonna have if you're gonna pick between her and Maul, she's probably the better choice just because of she costs way less and she
Oh,
has way more understanding abilities.
is Maul an operative? I thought he was a leader.
He's an operative
Ah,
for droids. He is also an operative for Shadow Collective, but 99% of the time you'll take the Dark Saber, which makes him commander because it just makes him way better, and it
got it.
makes him commander. But for droids, he is an operative. But yeah,
Okay.
so standard 5 health, 2 courage, red save, speed 2, pretty standard. Her lightsabers, a lot of dice, like you mentioned, 8 black, impact 2, pierce 2. Makes her a really good. And with that said, she has relentless, which means she can make an attack after moving. You can only attack once per turn, but this is a really good action economy because you can move twice and attack. You can move attack, dodge, stuff like that. So she, with all that dice, she's pretty good. She's a pretty good candidate for saber throw because 4 black dice, range 2, impact 2, pierce 2 is quite good with relentless. So yeah, relentless is a really good, one of the best keywords in the game, and she has it. She has jump 2, which is pretty good. Most things have jump 1, so she could ignore height 2 buildings for one of her moves. She has deflect, standard for Jedi. Spend the dodge token when you're getting shot at. You get surge defense, and surge results deflect the attack back. She has independent dodge too, which is new for a Jedi or non mercenary character. So what that means is if she does not get an order for the turn, she gets a dodge token. She is indomitable, which I believe is you roll red dice to recover.
Okay,
When
that's new.
yeah, when Wookiees are I think the only unit that have it. Let me double check. That's a pretty big rule. So you know how you roll white dice when you have suppression on you?
Right.
So she rolls red dice. So way yeah, instead of rolling red defense, yep, she rolls red defense dice, which ups the chance to remove suppression quite a bit.
Okay,
She
so
has
it just
immune.
removes suppression. It does not heal her because that's what you said.
No, sorry, it removes red dice removes suppression, not the healer.
Okay,
Yeah, when she rallies.
got it.
Immune pierce, pretty standard for a lightsaber user. They all have immune pierce. And a really interesting rule is Jarkai Mastery. So while performing a melee attack, you may spend any number of dodge tokens. For each dodge token spent, improve one attack die result. So improving attacks isn't new. Marksman does that. Most famous units of marksman are Inferno Squad, Imperial Special Forces, and what's her name? Battlefront 2 girl. Iden Versio. And same thing, but with aim tokens. So spend a token to improve one die result. So you could spend one token, aim for marksman, or in her case, a dodge token to make a blank into a hit or a hit into a crit. It's so compared to an aim, it's only one dice, but it's a guarantee. So if you have one dodge token, you're guaranteed to make to get one hit because you can make a blank a hit. But realistically, you're going to be making that hit into a crit if you need crits. And it just helps her push more attacks in, especially in melee when you're throwing 8 dice and you just want more dice there. And it stacks really well with her independent dodge 1. And this is the first time we've seen something like this with the dodge tokens. Again, we've seen improved attack die results with marksman, but not with dodge tokens because marksman uses aim token. So that's a really interesting rule, especially in melee. So just looking at her card, like I think she's already really good. Decent cost, has all these cool rules, and she's a missile. I think you just throw her in there, she does 8 dice worth of damage. Something she is missing actually is Master of the Force, which lets you recover force powers for free every turn.
Well,
Now
she's
this
no
is
master.
no, yeah, she's no master. But with that said, I still think you should 99% of the time give her force push because force push is just really good. Even if you don't have master of the force, just being able to get a clutch force push at some point is super worth it, I think. So I really recommend force push. Stuff like force choke, maybe not as much. I think saber throw is a really good upgrade on her, just because she has relentless, and again, 4 dice with the relentless. That's dang good. And for trading slots, she really likes defensive stance. Defensive stance is a trading upgrade for Jedi and Sith only. What it does is you cannot spend aim tokens, but whenever you do the dodge action, you get 2 dodge tokens. and she doesn't really need aims because of her mastery. So you just use those dodges to improve attack dice. So I'd probably be running that on her. So again, overall, already good. But then you go to her command cards if you scroll down a bit. So as always, she has 3 command cards. So first one, the Jedi shall fall. She gets Jedi Hunter, so gives her surge to crit against Force users. And interestingly, when she attacks, before you attack, you may gain up to 4 suppression tokens, and you gain 1 dodge token for each suppression token gained this way. That's really interesting. You're trading suppression, which could really mess you up, for more dodges, which you could use immediately to improve attacks or to dodge, right? To survive the return attack or something.
Right.
I like that it gives you what's up?
I said right. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how it gives you choice, because you can't just blow your load and like, oh, I'm gonna get force suppression, because that having force suppression could really mess you up, especially when you're trying to hold objectives and you don't have a Courage 3 commander nearby like Dooku. You could lose your objective secured ability, or your ability to secure objectives, I mean. So that's really interesting. I like that. Her 2 pip is I Am Fear. When she begins her activation, she recovers. So this is a good. So this is kind of a quasi master of the force, because you recover all your force powers. And if you play her 1 pip and she has all the suppression, you could play this to immediately recover when she activates. So yeah, she recovers. And then at the end of her activation, she gets like a flamethrower force choke. So it's a range melee or range 1 surge to crit suppressive spray weapon. And the flamethrower comparison is the spray. So spray is you roll 1 dice for each ball in the target unit. That's also quite good. I don't think it's as amazing as it is first glance, but I do think that it's worth taking on her just for the recovery. And you never know, you may want to delete a unit with the surge to crit, and the reason why I don't think it's as crazy as people think it is at first glance is she already throws 8 black dice anyway. Now it does have the range 1, and even in melee, the surge to crit could be really clutch, because surge to crit ups your damage significantly when you're fighting. That's her 2 pip. Her 3 pip is Yes, My Master. So you must divulge this card, which means you reveal this at the beginning of the game, and you must do that. So you have to do it. There's other cards that have optional divulging. Cad Bane, Maul, Padme have those kinds of cards. But for her, you have to divulge it. So off the gate, you lose a 3 pip. Now, I don't think you play this first turn. I think it hasn't been confirmed yet, but some cards like Cad Bane's Divulge, it says you have to play this turn 1, but Darth Maul's doesn't. So I'm assuming this is the same way, where you don't have to play this turn 1. You play this before the game. But what it does is you pick. She essentially gets 2 sets of abilities. The first one is she gets Bounty. Everyone knows what Bounty does. You pick a bounty target, which is an operative or commander. If you kill it and survive, you get a victory point. And she gets reinforcements, which means she deploys after everyone else deploys without reinforcements. It's pretty solid. Bounty is a really good keyword. I got super excited about this, but then I saw her second set of abilities. I'm like, ooh. And her second set is she gets Demoralize 1. So when she activates, every enemy unit within range 1 to 2 gets 1 suppression token immediately. She gets Outmaneuver, which means she can dodge crits, which is a really good ability, as anyone who plays Pikes would tell you. And her final ability she gets is Makashi Mastery. So Makashi Mastery is an ability that's unique to Dooku until now. And what it does is when you're attacking, you could choose to reduce your pierce value to 1 if it's higher than 1, and the enemy loses immune pierce and impervious. So Jedi lose immune pierce. This allows her to kind of win duels handily, because the thing with Jedi to Jedi duels is that immune pierce makes it really a dice game. You roll your hits, but they could try to block. However, with Makashi Mastery, you're guaranteed to, if you get a hit, to push at least 1 wound through, because you ignore their immune pierce. That's super cool. And I mean, yeah, you're losing a 3 pip, but the abilities you get are really, really good. And Bounty, I mean, reinforcements is neat, but Bounty is really good, as people who play Bounty Hunters can tell you. That free victory point can be game changing.
It is.
And yeah, her second set, I mean, outmaneuver on someone who loves dodges. Oh yes, please. Makashi Mastery, yes, please. So I mean, just these command cards, I think very well designed. Like the 1 pip giving you the choice of being suppressed but getting dodge tokens, and then the 3 pip letting you pick abilities. That's already super fun. So that's her command card. She also her box also gives you an extra command card for Dooku. So the Sith rule. So it is a 3 pip, but it counts as a 2 pip when you're building your hand. So you'll have three pips most of the time. So what it does is when you play this, you have to play. Yeah, it's a Count Dooku card, so you need Count Dooku to use it. So when you play it, Count Dooku gets an aim and a dodge token, and after Count Dooku activates, Ashaj Ventress immediately activates if she hasn't activated yet. And after she's activates, she gets a face and order token. Yeah, that's really interesting. I definitely a must include if you have Dooku and Asajj. Maybe worth replacing her 2 pip with this or Dooku's 2 pip. You have some choices. But yeah, getting a double activation in a game with alternate activations is pretty nasty. Dooku, as Matt knows, can be really nasty. And activating Dooku and then Asajj right after, yeah, you could probably delete units quite easily if you really want to, or get objectives or whatever, right? But that's Asajj. Very, very fun and cool addition to the droid faction. Droids are not OP right now. They're okay. They're in a solid spot, I think. They're not rebels. They're not Empire. They're in like mid high tier pack. And I think Asajj just opens up more variety in gameplay for them. I mean, having 2 Force users is already rare for most factions. I mean, you could do it with Vader, Palpatine, or Anakin, Obi-Wan, but those get really pricey, especially in factions like Empire and Republic, where most of the units are expensive, and having 2 Force users just makes list building quite difficult. But in the droid faction, where not only are droids cheap, droids have really easy order control because of coordinate. So running 2 Force users isn't that difficult. I mean, I've seen people do Dooku Maul to some success, but Dooku Asajj, I mean, they already complement each other quite well, and I'm for sure gonna run that, and I definitely can see people kicking some butt with Asajj Dooku, and I cannot wait for the madmen who are gonna run Dooku Asajj Maul, just for the fun of it, which you could do with droids because droids are stupid cheap. But yeah, so that's the March release for Star Wars Legion. We got Asajj Ventress, and I think she's a great addition to the game. Not even just story, just the game. Her abilities are interesting. The the gameplay just seems fun, and yeah, super cool. Makes me excited for future releases as well. If this is the kind of design they're gonna go with.
Yeah, I'm just sad that I can't take her into my army.
Yeah, yes, she is droids only. So you gotta play droids if you wanna play her.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm already playing the winning team, so Empire's, number one. What can I say? That is all the news articles that we have for today. So I think we can just dive into the next thing here, which is just, hobby rants. Did you do anything?
What did I do? I'm trying to remember. Oh, I played 30K. That's right. Not even a week after LVO, I played a 30K game last week. And yeah, it was fun. I played a newer player with the Salamanders, and I played my Mechanicum. I dialed back my list a bit because my Mechanicum list is pretty disgusting, and I'm like, oh, I'll try some different units. And it was actually a pretty close game. We played Ambush, but I Mechanicum is an army that has to really stay close, so I deployed most of my army on one side, and he deployed in the center. But he had his objective on the other side, so it was a kind of fun chase scene where he was trying to get to my other board edge. I had some units there while my main force was going in towards the middle, trying to get the middle objective and killing his dudes so they don't score. Eventually, I did lose. I was not fast enough, and actually, interestingly, turn one I blew up his Spartan and killed his all his 5 fire drake terminators, but the Spartan didn't explode, so its corpse was blocking my path. So I had to go around the central building to get the objective on the other side, which did delay me. And at the end of the game, I did reach the objective, but he had a denial unit in the middle, which earned him the win. Super fun, super cool to play, more 30k. But that was pretty much my hobby. I'm slowly playing some more World Eaters. I got my first league game for the Next Gen Games Narrative League this Thursday, so working on my word bears for that. And yeah, what about you?
Well, I didn't get any gaming in because, after LVO, I like to just take a break and not play Warhammer or anything. But
Right.
I have been doing more hobbying lately.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, because I know one of our group members is very excited to do some Necromunda. So I've finally had the excuse to finally, well, excuse is a wrong word, motivation to paint up my Necromunda guys.
Here we go. I need to work on my Necro as well. Now that you mention it.
Yeah. So I've just been painting. I've been building models because now that Armor of Contempt is gone, I didn't really go into this last week because
Yeah.
it was a long video, as it was a long podcast. But now that Armor of Contempt is gone, I don't really want to play my Thousand Suns anymore. Not that I'm shoving them away forever. It's just I feel like my Eldar can finally shine in the meta.
So it's less that your Thousand Suns got nerfed, but more like your Eldar now have a chance to do more stuff against Space Marines.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And I know. Eldar are OP. Well, I don't run the Yanari. I don't run uh the space clowns in my army. I like to run pure aspect warriors. So now that Armor Contempt is gone, I feel like I have a much better chance with those people, those units in the current meta that's coming up. But we'll see. We shall see, because I don't think I mentioned it when the point drops came out, or the point changes, I should say. But Eldar definitely did not get any love in that points. All our units went up. Oh, well, not all our units, the popular units all went up in points. And funny enough, Dark Reapers went down in points, and they're still not worth taking. So, yeah, I've been slowly looking at my Eldar army, seeing what I can take, seeing what I think will work. So I'll probably, not probably, I am going to go back to my Eldar and see how it goes, but it could change because 10th edition is coming out this year. So there could be rule changes in there that just make me be like, yeah, maybe not play this army anymore. But there's that. I also didn't go over my spoils that I got from LVO last week. I just want to quickly go over this. I got some pretty good deals at the flea market, which says a lot for Star Wars Legion, considering Star Wars Legion had one bin, while, obviously AoS and 40k, primarily 40k, took up the entire flea market. I got myself a dewback. God, I'm blanking on the name. What are the scout bikers called?
Scout bikers.
Scout bikers.
Scout bikers, yeah.
Got me scout bikers.
Nice.
I got those two models that are brand new in a box. $40, $30. Got those for $10 each. I was like, damn, that's a steal. I even got Palpatine. Brand new out of the box. And I was just like, this is great. You know how much money I spent on all that at the flea market? I got like a couple other things as well, like a dice tray and God, it was something else I bought too. I couldn't remember. Oh, Arimon, Arimon 30K edition. You know how much all that cost me, John? How much?
How much?
Cost me $40.
Wow.
I was like, damn, this is a steal. Granted, Palpatine and Arimon were 25% off, brand new in the box.
Still, it's a pretty damn good deal.
It's a pretty good damn deal. I went to the GW booth. I was like, damn, I don't see the Jade Boys for Warcry. I guess I'll just get the Rotmeyer because I like the Rotmeyer. You know how much that one box cost me?
$60.
$60.
Yep.
I was like, goddamn.
Yep.
But those were the spoils I got. More to help out my army. I'm also just gonna take the time to just try to paint a model a day. It's a struggle for me because I get distracted really easily, but
you can do it. Very doable.
Just to keep my hobby going. That's what I've been doing. That's why I've been painting up my Necromunda. Just so I can say that I felt productive. Would be the way I would go with it. I know John's like, one model a day. I paint 10 models in 10 minutes. It's nothing.
I just keep going. That's nonstop. Working, bouncing from project to project, finishing units.
Yeah, but you got that mindset. I have that mindset, but then I just be like, man, I wonder what's going on in this video game right now, and then my day's done. That's what happens with me.
That's fair. It is a hobby at the end of the day. It's not something you have to do. It's something you get to do. I just peer pressure myself into fully painted only.
Yes, well, my goal is to, again, paint a model a day and then just cut down my closet of shame. So I can actually see what's inside the closet now instead of boxes of Warhammer and other game systems. But that's my goal. We'll see. We'll see how long I can keep at it. But I don't got anything else. You got anything else you want to share?
No, that's it.
Well, okay then. I guess we'll end it there. Nice video. Didn't really shorten it down as much, but whatever. We made it to time.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank everyone who made it to the end, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, everyone.